Pennsylvania, gang. That's Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where even the legacy media, those who actually bothered to cover that, had to admit that Cackle's Kamala was absolutely humiliated in the presence of the one and only Donald J. Trump. And that reaction is actually reflective of what's happening in the electorate at large. Voting has already started, and we got the real-time data that's going to absolutely blow your mind. I promise you, what I'm about to show you is going to absolutely stun you. But first, talk about stunning. We got a bombshell revelation coming out. Yeah, the debate was indeed fixed. Yes, surprise, surprise. And this bombshell is coming from none other than a fellow Democrat. A Democrat is coming forward with evidence of ABC's debate fix. You are not going to want to miss this. Hey, gang, with everything going on right now, it's hard to say what could happen or what will happen. And to make matters even worse, we usually don't find out until it's too late. But when it comes to your money, you should understand what's at stake. That's why I partnered with Goldco. Now, you guys know I'm a big fan of hedging future risks with the timeless value of gold and silver. And that's why you've got to click on the link below or go to turleytalkslikesgold.com to get your free gold and silver kit. Gang, it's an amazing free resource that shows you step-by-step how to get into precious metals tax-free and penalty-free, even if your money's still in a retirement account like an IRA or a 401k. And the best part is that you may already qualify to get up to $10,000 in free silver. You've seen the writing on the wall. Click on that link below or go to turleytalkslikesgold.com to get your free gold and silver kit right now, because this is about taking back control of your freedom and your privacy. We can't predict the future, but we can certainly prepare for it. So don't wait. Take action now to defend your freedom, your privacy, and your future. Click on that link below right now. All right, we've got a bombshell revelation about the Tuesday night debate. And ironically, it is coming from a Democrat, a former Clinton advisor to boot. Dude, I hope you have life insurance. Veteran Democrat pollster Mark Penn is coming out and openly calling for a formal review of all of ABC News' internal texts and emails to find out to what extent they deliberately rigged the debate in Kamala Harris's favor. Now, Penn is calling on ABC News to do the investigation. Of course, no one is holding their breath when it comes to that. You may have heard that the top executive for Disney, which owns ABC, this executive, Dana Walden, she's actually like best friends with Kamala. She apparently introduced Kamala to her husband. Again, this insanity, this bureaucrat billionaire partnership, this is all part of what Joel Kotkin of Chapman University refers to as the refeudalization of our society. We talk about this a lot on our channel, where billionaires and bureaucrats are increasingly aligning. They're coming together and amassing an absolutely unprecedented amount of power and wealth in the hands of very few. All the while, the general population becomes more and more serf-like, right? You will own nothing and you will be happy, right? So that's refeudalization. This is why the Democrats are now officially the party of the regime. Yeah, I mean, even Robert Kennedy recognizes that. Everybody, more and more, are recognizing that. They're the party of the establishment, the permanent political class. Nevertheless, Penn wrote a scathing op-ed in the Wall Street Journal the other day, basically accusing ABC of election interference, of depriving the nation of an integral electoral and democratic process by virtue of their blatant bias and double standards. Here's Mark Penn just the other day on Fox.
My reaction is I'm really concerned about what ABC did. When the refs put their finger on the scale, you got to throw out the score of the game. What would have happened in that debate had they challenged Harris and said, you know, that's not right what you said there about Charlottesville. Right. We don't know how she would have reacted. and then Trump wouldn't have to spend all his time on the debate center. I think they did a real disservice to the voters of America when they did that, and they put in jeopardy the institutions of debate.
Well, and look, for the candidate on your side of the political aisle, it might have helped her. If you want to get sharp, you have to rub up against something that will sharpen you. And it might have even helped her quiet down those in your party who still have so many questions about her policies.
That's a very interesting point. The more the permanent political class coddles their candidates, the weaker they become. The more they throw all of this weaponization at our candidates, the stronger they become. Well, now it's being widely reported that Mark Penn, is saying he has hard evidence of the rigging. It looks like there is indeed a whistleblower coming forward inside ABC News who sent him some emails or Slack messages that show an explicit intent on sabotaging Trump in favor of Harris. So there are rumblings online of an affidavit coming from a whistleblower from inside ABC coming out in the next couple of days. This whistleblower will testify that he has evidence that Kamala was given the questions ahead of time and was also assured that Trump would face so-called fact-checking, which turns out not to be so factual, from the moderators, whereas Kamala would not. So we've got a possible whistleblower coming forward, and we've got a former Democrat, a former advisor to the Clintons, calling for a full investigation to the obvious fraud behind this debate. So we'll see what happens there. But there's no question that regardless of what actually comes out of all of that, ABC, they absolutely humiliated themselves in front of the entire nation. No one, outside of the ones who were drinking the blue Kool-Aid, no one is going to trust them ever again. That was the last presidential debate they'll ever do. They absolutely humiliated themselves, especially given the fact that Kamala got literally no bounce whatsoever from that debate. In fact, it's the opposite. Here's a rather anecdotal piece of evidence. This is fascinating in terms of just what's going on here on social media. ABC posted on their TikTok channel both Trump's and Kamala's closing statements. Look at the numbers, all right? So they're closing statements from the debate. ABC puts them both up there. Look at the numbers. Kamala's has been viewed 4 million times. Trump, at the time of this posting, had been viewed over 18 million. I just saw it right before we got on. Like I said, I was number crunching. I was data crunching here. That's why I was so late. It's over 23 million. It's literally 5 times the views Kamala got. She got a couple of 100,000 likes. At this point, he got 1.4 million. I'm sure it's up around 2 million. Again, it's just a radically stark contrast between how the broader voting population watched that debate, who are angry about our economy. They're angry about the southern border. They're angry about inflation. They're angry about jobs. They're angry about rising violent crime. They're angry about us almost getting into World War III. And Trump was angry. And so Trump actually, ironically, ended up embodying the sentiments of the vast majority of voters. While Kamala's just sitting there smiling. Let's talk climate change. Again, the contrast could not possibly be more stark between how the people watched the debate and how the elite pundit class watched and, frankly, fabricated the debate because they have no confidence in their own. So it's no coincidence that we're seeing more and more of the pundit class begin to inadvertently admit that Trump has actually won the debate. No question, some are doubling down on these puff polls that are coming out, these response bias polls that inordinately sample Democrat constituencies. But there are more and more pundits nevertheless recognizing that Kamala came out of that debate actually less popular, not more popular. And again, we talked about this several times throughout the last couple of days, pundits, they were just shocked. They were beside themselves to see what came out of Reuters, of all places. It was a focus group of undecided voters. They interviewed 10 undecided voters. It was just a focus group post-debate. 6 of them said, yeah, we're voting Trump. 6 of them, 60%. 3 said, now I'll go Harris. 1 remained undecided. But it was the focus group broke 2-1 to Trump. It was the same thing with the CNN flash poll, where they found that Kamala actually lost support on the economy and Trump gained support post-debate, even though the majority of voters for CNN thought Kamala Harris won. Surprise, surprise. It's a CNN audience. But that, of course, begs the question, who really did win? Well, there's really, in the end, ultimately only one answer to that. We need to see how people are voting, don't we? We need to see how people are voting. We got a little bit of a sample, a taste of how people were voting on TikTok, but how are they voting in the actual election? We now know. The voting for 2024 has officially begun.